When it comes to recommending an online qualitative market research study to your clients, whether you're an experienced online person or new to the game, you know that failure is not an option. So what I'm going to do right now is take you quickly through 3 basic steps to make sure that your online qualitative market research study is a resounding success. Number 1, you have to have great study design. You have to mix your activities up, give them different things to do. You know, most studies are 3, 4, 5 days long. You can't give them a battery of open-ended questions. You got to mix and match your techniques, projective stuff, straight ahead stuff, perceptual maps, collages, storytelling, video tours of the pantry, whatever it happens to be. You want to mix it up, make it engaging and different every step of the way. And another thing relative to that to keep in mind is you want to design that study with the end in mind. Don't give the respondent too much work to do that's going to create a tidal wave of data that you're going to regret when you get to the end of the study and have to get through the data. And number 2 is really how you design your study relative to your budget. If you've got an unlimited budget, you don't want to have an unlimited study size because, again, you'll regret the amount of data you produce at the end. There'll be a lot to analyze. But what you do want to do is try to understand how many segments you have, how many days the study can actually run. That'll be driven, again, usually by a finite budget. So let's say you go in and say, I want 36 people and I want to go 4 days. You may find out that that budget is not going to fit. So, hey, come back a little bit. Go to 32 people. Go to 28 people. Maybe you drop from 4 days to 3 days. You can still get an enormous amount done, a lot of insight from a study of those sizes. Again, sometimes bigger is better, sometimes it's not. You just want to make sure you're adequately sized to whatever your budget is, what your initiative is, and your appetite for the mountain of data you could produce at the end. And the third basic thing you need to do to avoid failure in an online research study is to make sure that your incentives are right-sized to what the tasks are for respondents. The reason you do this is if you're not paying them enough, you're going to get people dropping out. You pay a lot to get them recruited to a study, and when they leave, you have lost, okay? So to keep them engaged, you got to make sure you're paying them enough. So if you're looking for them to do a 4-day study, for instance, you're probably looking, a best practice approach is 30 to 45 minutes. 30 minutes is the best target, and you typically want to use $1 a minute to kind of come up with your incentive. So for instance, 30 minutes over 4 days is 120 minutes. You're going to want to pay them $125. Okay, it's really that simple. Sometimes we have clients come to us and say, hey, I need to do an hour. Okay, you can't do that for 125 bucks. You're probably going to need to go to 175. Then throw in a store trip or some other kind of exercise that takes them off of the computer and out into the field, you're going to have to pay a little bit more. So you're always going to want to be a little heavier on incentive. Don't be penny wise and pound foolish when it comes to incentives. $25 more over 30 people is not very much more money. So over-incent whenever you can. You'll have happier respondents, you'll have a higher level of engagement, and hopefully close to 100%. And while those are the 3 ways to avoid failure, or more importantly, achieve success, there is one underlying theme or action that needs to take place over the course of a study, and that truly is moderator engagement. The moderator is human. They need to be part of that human connection with the respondent, and what that really means is make sure you introduce yourself as the moderator, you probe early, not necessarily often, but get them early on day 1, and make sure every day of the study they know exactly what's expected of them, what you want them to do. Treat them well. What I call cheerleading and housekeeping. Tell them every morning, great job, here's what we're going to do today, and boom, you'll have a great study.